This is the Kona Edge, the home of Ironman triathletes who dream of qualifying for the World Championships on the Big Island.
Welcome on to the Kona Edge. I'm Brad Brown. Good to have you with us. And really happy to be able to share the next little bit of info with you. World Triathlete Series triathlete Richard Murray, currently ranked 4th in the world, sharing a couple of tips on a recent swim seminar we did online at thekonaedge.com. All you need to do to register for the next one is head over to thekonaedge.com/swim seminar. You can register there if you'd like to join the Kona Edge. The website to get to is thekonaedge.com/join. But let's get straight into a snippet of that webinar where Richard talks a little bit about some of the things he's done to improve his speed and endurance. And these are some of his favorite swim sets.
All right, lots of questions coming through. I think we can get, we're going to be asking questions and answering questions throughout the night. So get those questions in the chat bar. Richard's questioning, I think it's from Dealey. Dealey was saying, what's the top efficient swim workout to improve swim speed? What if you're trying to get faster, or what would you suggest someone does as a swim workout to get faster in the water?
Well, I think, on the front of, swim workouts, a lot of the time people will do sets of 100s, they'll do sets of 50s. They'll even do, as in sets of, they'll do 25 fast, 25 easy. And I think it all goes down, also depends on your fitness levels. If you're lacking on the endurance side of it and you're more endurance speed, say you've got more slow twitch character, or if you're a more fast twitch character, when you do the 25s and 50s fast and that's easy, you need to work on the other side. So it's always working on your weaker part of your swimming. So I definitely think I find shorter rest as well. Some of the times if you take shorter rest, instead of swimming harder, you just take less rest. That helps with obviously the duration speed. So, you get used to swimming at a certain pace. Also, what you can do is say if you do a set of 10 50s or 100 50s or something like that, and you actually, you descend as you're going. So literally you're actually getting quicker towards the end. And then from there, you can actually do the type of pyramid set where you actually build up towards the end of the set of the 50s, and then you actually build slightly back down, helping obviously your technique, along with you're actually getting, that feel for the water, and you can actually, time it more correctly. It's the same with running, and the pacing, I think, from that is also quite important.
You were talking about just how you sort of see gains in that in your training, particularly when you're racing in the middle of a season. Have you got a particular workout that you love, sort of like as a marker? You said your favorite marker swim workout to test your fitness. So is there something you do on a regular basis to see how you're progressing, and what is that workout? Can you talk us through it?
In previous years it used to be the I wouldn't say standard session, but I'd say elite type session of 30 by 100. Where I would descend each set. So there were sets of 10, so I'd go 10, 10, 10, and then they would be at a certain speed. So I would leave on 130. Obviously if you're not as fit, or if you're a bit, you're struggling a tiny bit, you could leave on 135, say even on 140 type of range. And then you could actually see, I would literally descend each set. That's how I do most of the swims, most of the runs, even some of my bikes as well. I tend to start off a bit easier for the first ones. The next set, build into them a tiny bit more. So, holding that stroke and holding the controlled swimming, and then the last set, you can give it the horns, and you can see what you've got. But I think that's a good representation to actually see, where you're improving, and over the weeks if you do something like that, or you could even do sets of 5 where you would do 5 by 100, 5 by 100, 5 by 100, and you can do something simple and similar like that. And it's also depending on what type of distance. If you're doing Olympic distance, or if you're doing sprint, or you're doing Ironman or the longer distance, you're wanting to be doing longer, further reps to try and see the improvements, because obviously Ironman at 70.3, the swim being much longer than ITU swimming, you want to try and get that duration and speed in for that duration.
Richard, you say you start at 130 and you drop down for those 3 sets. How much would you drop down from a pace perspective? 130 would be the first set. What would you do the second one at? What would you do the third one at?
Yeah, so it would probably, I try and drop it down by, say, 5 seconds. So I would start, say, 120, then I'd go 115, and then I'd try and hit 110. But ideally at the start of the season, I need to try and be realistic. So you need to go on the feel. I think a lot of the people, we were once again talking about it, the version convention today, that a lot of people have lost the feel. What it feels like. What does this feel like to you? Is this say a 3 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10? And most people, rely on devices to tell them actually how they're going, what rate, minutes a K, all that sort of stuff. So it's obviously the case of this one's easy, moderate. This one is now moderate. This one is now moderate hard, and this one is hard, and this one is I will not live to see tomorrow. And so you need to weigh that up. You start to actually teach your body where you are at what point.
Awesome. Richard, Abel wants to know, what's the hardest swim set you've ever done?
The hardest swim set I've ever done. Well, this is going to sound pretty sad compared to most swimmers, where I hear people doing 100 by 100 or something. They do a 10K swim set. I haven't done anything as crazy as that, so I try and regulate the training a little bit. But I think the hardest one is when we do the send-off of 115 or send-off even come towards 110. So we do sets of 100s. And we did, I think the one session was 6 or 6.5K that we did. I just remember the block of training that we did where I did my biggest block this year, and I did over 3 weeks. I managed to just get 100 kilometers, which was a record for myself. So I did between 30 to 35 Ks of swimming a week. And I think the main session was about 4.5K. And it was a set of, I think the main set was 3 by 1500, and it was broken up, or 500, 500, 500. And then the next was broken up, I think, into 300s, and the second one was broken up into 200s and 100s. And then we obviously descended when we went through, but we started off, let's say the first 3 by 500. It was moderate, hard, and then race pace. And then we did the similar with the whole workout towards the end. And obviously after about 3.5K, you're pretty knackered of swimming close to or just under race pace. And I think that was, pretty hard. And I think the hurt still, I still feel it in my shoulders when I think about it.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Kona Edge. If you want to improve your swim, be sure to check out our next free live online swim seminar. Get to thekonaedge.com/swim seminar to sign up now.